Hello everyone, welcome back to Becca's Book Nook. Today I'm going to be talking about my January wrap-up. I have so far read 7 books in January and I am nearly finished 2 more, and there are still like 5 days left in the month, so I do still have some time to get those wrapped up, and if I do, I will talk about them next week in my February TBR. But for now, let's just jump right into the books I have read so far this month. The first book that I read in January of 2022 was my first 5-star read of the year, which is awesome that my first book of the year was 5 stars, but it was Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. This is officially one of my new favorite contemporary romance books. It's right up there with People We Meet on Vacation. I absolutely adored this book. I read it with a read along in my romance book club that I'm in with a couple of girls that I met when I worked at the bookstore I was working at. And I just absolutely fell in love with it, fell in love with the characters, gave me just even higher expectations for a man, and I can't get over it. I've already started tabbing it, and I want to tab it even more because I just fell in love with it. The second book that I read this month was November 9 by Colleen Hoover. This was my very first Colleen Hoover book, so I was slightly hesitant to get into it just because I know she does sometimes deal with some darker themes. I, however, read this book in a day. It really just pulled me in, and I was addicted to the story from the minute that I read it. I got, I think, 4 stars from me, or 4.5, but it was just absolutely phenomenal. The plot twist was unreal. I loved the characters. Ben is one of the new loves of my life, and I just really loved everything about it, so it made me a little bit more eager to get into more Colleen Hoover books for sure. Next up this month, following along with my romance kick that I seem to be on, I did read Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I still do not have November 9 or Red, White, and Royal Blue. I'm waiting for them to come to me. I just ordered them, so hopefully they will arrive soon. I really loved this book. It got 3.5 out of 5 stars for me just because there was a lot of political stuff going on, obviously, and I just wasn't that interested in that, and the chapters were like really long. But other than that, I really loved it. The steam and the spice was like unreal. I fell in love with Henry and Alex. I also love that it started off as an Andrew Garfield x Jesse Eisenberg fanfic, since The Social Network is one of my favorite movies and I love Andrew Garfield, so I was really interested to read this book and see sort of what was going on. So I loved it. I loved just their relationship, and everything about this book was phenomenal. So yeah. The fourth book that I read and finished this month was Fix Her Up by Tessa Bailey, which is officially now once again one of my new favorite contemporary romances. I gave this book 4.5 stars. It didn't quite get 5 stars for me just because a couple things that annoyed me, such as his constant use of baby girl, just kind of bugged me a bit, but the spice was insane. I was so not expecting it, though I should have been, because I know Tessa Bailey is just unreal with that. I can't wait to read the other 2 books in the little series that she has. I have To Love and to Lose Her on my shelf, and I do still need to get Tools of Engagement because I do really just want to finish them, because I think it would be really cool to read about the rest of the characters in these books, and I know that they'd be good stories because of how great Tessa Bailey is. So yeah, I've had a really good start to the month with these 4 beauties. And yeah, let's move on to the rest of the books I read. Next up, I did read the first book in the Fulton U series, which is called The Perfect First by Maya Hughes. I was really excited to get into this series just because I really loved Off Campus by Elle Kennedy, and I was just looking for another sort of college-themed sports romance. I was really excited to get into it. But unfortunately, this book was like a major letdown for me. I rated it 2.5 stars, and it only got that much because the spice was good, and I guess I kind of enjoyed the guy. This whole story felt very insta-lovey to me, and I wasn't really a huge fan of this book, and I definitely will not be reading the rest of the series. After that book that I really did not like, I did go on to read The Final Six by Alexandra Monnier. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. I'm not quite sure how to say her last name. I did this as a buddy read with a few other people on Bookstagram, and I was very surprised by how much I liked this book. I really haven't been in like a fantasy sci-fi sort of mood recently, but this book definitely put me back into it. It's very sci-fi, futuristic type themes, and I really enjoyed it. I loved the whole idea. The plot twist really got me. It made me want to read the second book, so I think I might try and do that later on this year. But yeah, I definitely recommend this book to anyone who's looking for sort of like a quick sci-fi read. It was really fascinating, and I am excited to know more about the story and to read more of her work because this book was really, really great. And it got 4 stars for me. And the 7th book that I have read this month was Borders, and it's a graphic novel. I'm trying to get into more graphic novels this year, and this one was actually for a class at school, which was pretty cool. It's pretty short. It was only like 170 pages maybe, but I read it in probably about an hour. It is by Thomas King, who's a really great writer, and the illustrations are really, really pretty, and they're by Natasha Donovan. So this was a really nice step into graphic novels. I did only give it 2.5 stars because I wasn't a massive fan of the story. It was kind of very repetitive for me, and I just wasn't really that big of a fan of it. But I have ordered some more graphic novels because I am excited to get sort of more into those this year. I definitely want to read the Heartstopper trilogy because I've heard just so many wonderful things about it, and I would just really like to get more into graphic novels this year. So those are the 7 books that I have finished so far, though I am very, very close. I think probably only like 50 pages away from finishing Emma by Jane Austen, so I will definitely be finished listening to this or slash reading it. I'm sort of doing a little both type thing in regards to this book, so I'm very close to finishing it, so it will definitely be done by the end of the month. And I am also sort of right in the middle of reading My Life in Shambles by Karina Hale, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. This was the second book in my sort of romance book club thing that we were doing. It's pretty fascinating so far. I'm not sure how high of a rating it's gonna get, but I am enjoying it. It does have a pretty big illness sort of trope in it, which I'm not the biggest fan of, just because I love to self-diagnose myself with things when I'm reading about them, and that's just not a good habit to have, so I'm not the biggest fan of reading books with that sort of trope in it. But I do love the Irish setting. I sort of love anything set abroad. I just booked a trip to France for a couple months away, so anything that's sort of set abroad in like Europe or anywhere else just really fascinates me because I am really looking forward to traveling. I have a big travel bug right now thanks to COVID, but yes, I will definitely be finished with both of those books by the time January is over. So that is it for my January wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing what books I have been reading lately. I would love to hear what books you have been getting into this month, so don't forget to comment down below the titles of those, and maybe I'll even get some recommendations or we can discuss them. Either way works for me. I love having conversations with you guys in the comments. Don't forget all my socials are linked down below. Follow my Bookstagram for more content. I am trying to make a better effort of posting on there, especially because I am in the middle of a reading challenge for the year. I have 12 books that I have to read in 2022. I have thankfully gotten through 2 of them already this month. November 9 was on there and the final 6 was on there, so I'm gotten through 2 out of the 12, which is awesome, and I'm hoping to make better progress throughout the rest of the year, obviously. Thanks again for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you're not already, so that you can see all my bookish content every Wednesday. I hope you're doing well and have a good one. Bye.